Yeah. I want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Torrie TV podcast. Let's get it. Just sit back and let it breathe. We coming with more heat. You only get one shot. You shady or maybe not. You capping, we laughing. We on a mission. Now listen, we making statements and stating some of opinions and some of fact. So sit back and just relax. All the bull don't get no slack. We bringing it back to back with a swag and a class act. It's levels to this, and the truth will show who your friends are. That hate you won't get far. So be great. Let's debate. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm Arthur J.
And I'm Torrie.
And we back with another episode. I want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Torrie TV podcast. We back again. I hope y'all ready for this one. This one is, man, I'm really going to enjoy getting right into it. We're going to get right into it. I'm tired of sweeping things under the rug. We need to nip things in the bud right now. Man, that is a lot within itself, man.
It is.
You know, and I'm gonna tie you right in like I always do, man. It's just, I want to start you off like, why you think it's so important to nip things in the bud right away?
First of all, you got to address things, nip it in the bud right away, because when you leave things to linger on, it's gonna always, if you sweep something under the rug, somehow, some way, it's gonna come back. Whether you're getting in an argument or a disagreement, whatever it may be, now you want to bring up something that should have been addressed a while back. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
just complete the mission. If you're in a disagreement or whatever it may be, just address it right then, so you don't have to worry about it coming back, showing up in your future later. So, you know, it's always important not to let things lay dormant, sleep until something happens. Then it wakes up, and now you back to square one when you could have been taking care of that.
Right, man. I think it's important to nip things in the bud right away. It's because a lot of times you ever see people when they get upset and then it come out way worse than it would have came out the first time when they was talking.
Yeah.
And I've learned that from the past and the experience in many different situations where and I can admit, even in a relationship where I felt a certain type of way and I just kept on sweeping it under the rug, just like, just thinking like it's not a big deal. And sometimes that can be confusing because, I know as men, we don't like to argue all the time. Like that's like real men. We don't want to do all that. And so there are times when you thinking, well, I don't want to argue. And there's times when you like, man, I should have addressed that. Yeah. Because now it blew up and it done got out of hand. And, that's the worst thing you can do is to respond when you angry.
Yeah.
A lot of times when something bothered you right then and there, you didn't have time to really sit and dwell on it and think on it. It probably would have turned out better, with you and whoever that you had a disagreement with, probably would have turned out better. But because you waited a long time to talk about it and discuss whatever it is that was bothering you, it just made things a lot worse, man. And that's the thing that I just feel like we all have to do better on, because there are people that feel a certain type of way around me, and that's another reason why I feel like you should nip it in the bud right away, and why it's important. Well, one thing why it's important is because I don't want nobody around me, and later on I feel like, you felt that way? That's how you feel? So it started making me reevaluate myself, and it started making me analyze, like, okay, if you don't want to feel, if you feel like this person is being fake because they holding, they grudge or holding some kind of disagreement or a certain type of energy towards you, they not telling you that, then why are you doing it? I had to challenge my own self. How you feel about that?
And to go back a little bit, things are, when you don't address it right then and there, guess what's going on? It's building up. It's building up, and it's building up to the point, like you say, it's worse later on than just addressing it then, because you done sat on it so long that now it could be something that keep irking you or keep getting on your nerve, but you're not saying that, you're not addressing it. But to a point, you in an argument about something totally different, or a disagreement, I should say, about something totally different, but you still let this stuff build up. Now you bringing it up at the wrong time or whatever, and now it's blew up bigger than it had to be if you would have just addressed it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So
absolutely, man. I've seen numerous situations, and even in other people where, had they addressed it head on.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah, we all are.
I'm definitely guilty.
But I've seen things on the highest level of just it turning out bad, where a person was doing something wrong to a person. They was really wronging the person, and the people who saw it or who was bystanders, they didn't address it head on. They didn't nip it in the bud. What they did, they just kept brushing it off because maybe the popularity, maybe because everybody liked them. You know, because people do that when you are liked among the community. People tend to do that a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's so important to have in your mind that no matter who it is, no matter how popular, how much money you got, how well known, how much you are liked, you need to nip it in the bud when it's time to nip it in the bud, man. And I think it's so important for people to really understand that.
Yeah.
I want to tie you right in on this right here, man. People around you make you feel like you should sweep things under the rug. That kind of go hand in hand with what we already addressing. But people around you make you feel like you should sweep things under the rug. And let me just elaborate on that more. Reason why I want to tie you in on this, because I've had experience where there's family members, and family can really be bad at this, where situations can happen, and because a person is liked, or because they have money, or because they are well known, or because they are charming, or because they have a lot of respect, you know, it becomes a thing where people get uncomfortable, and that be a lot of the reasons too why they sweep things under the rug. I want to tie you right in on that. How you feel about that?
Well, I mean, honestly, it's just like I'm not sweeping nothing under the rug. If it's something that maybe you done wrong, or maybe I just don't agree with it, don't mean it's right or wrong. But if I don't agree with something, I'm most of the time I'm gonna approach it. I don't care who you is. Nobody is above approach if it's something that needs to be addressed. You know what I'm saying? But I'm definitely not gonna make it feel like I have to sweep something under the rug because you might have money, or you might be popular, or whatever the case may be. Because my morals first. So all that other stuff is irrelevant. If you don't want to deal with me after we address it, that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? But your popularity or money or lack of money ain't finna have me not address something that might be offensive or whatever the case may be. You know, I'm gonna always try to approach it to the best, but out of respect though too. So that's the thing too. I feel like if I come to you respectfully on something that I didn't agree with, then you should be open-minded and you can give me your opinion too. But if you feel like you're above reproach, then we probably shouldn't be in the same circle anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because I want somebody, if I wronged or did something to you, Arthur, I want you to come holler at me. Let's not sweep it under the rug. I was late today. Matter of fact, y'all think he let me get away with that? Nope. He addressed it right then. I was like, man, you know what? I tried to place it on my barber, everything. But at the end of the day, you just approach things, and if you have a mutual respect for each other, it should be okay to do so. Yeah, but sweeping it under the rug definitely is not helping the situation.
Yeah, I like that you said that mutual respect, because that goes a long ways when you can come to an individual, whatever the disagreement or whatever the constructive criticism is. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people can't do that, and it makes me really question their respect that they have for each other.
Yeah.
Let that breathe. Let that breathe.
Oh, that show you where you stand on the chain, or if it, like we say, mutual respect, that lets you know how that person address it back, where you stand at in a respectful level in y'all friendship or acquaintance, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It show you that, man. Because if you truly have a respect for a person, you know, whether you are wrong or whether you are right, you would try to, if you see that person have a problem with you, or they maybe even took things the wrong way, you would think that person to come to you and be like, hey man, you know, let's talk about this. Hey man, pride is something that people so often struggle with and wrestle with, man, and especially amongst us young black men, is that we can wrestle with that in times when we needed to nip it in the bud, we just be like, man, I ain't gonna worry about it. Or they ain't said nothing, I ain't gonna say nothing. Or they ain't come to me, I'm not gonna come to me. It's like, I'm gonna be honest, man, before we move on to the next point, I'm gonna be honest, I get so sick of, and this is a challenge for me, being the bigger person. When I tell funny. You, I'm telling you,
I just had a conversation about that,
bro,
the other day, yesterday.
I'm going to say that again for the two people in the back that didn't catch that. I get so sick of being the bigger person. I feel like all my life I had to be the bigger person. All my life I always had to be the one that, okay, I'm going to approach it first, or I'm going to make it right, or if we going to get along, it's going to be because I don't even want to get into certain situations, but I know it's a certain situation in my life that without me being the bigger person, me and this individual wouldn't even be getting along. We wouldn't even be getting along. We wouldn't even be talking or even interacting, and that is definitely needed in a certain situation that I'm talking about right now. That is definitely needed in that situation. Now, other situations is like if we don't have to, is no kind of tie in that we have to connect or deal with each other. Then, sometimes you just go, you be put in other situations or positions that you can just move on and you don't have to deal with the person. But it's some people that you have to deal with in life that, it takes one or the other to be the bigger person.
And like you said, man, I had this conversation just yesterday, and the person I was talking to is, tired of, why do I always have to take the high road? And then if I do spaz or say or speak my mind, and it's not coming from a gentle place, because I done tried that. I'm the angry person. You know what I'm saying? But I'm tired of taking the high road. You just cannot keep talking to a person a certain way or disrespecting the person, talking to him like you talk to Joe Blow or whatever. I'm not whoever you talk to like that. Why do I always have to be the bigger person? No, I'm gonna spaz. Now you're gonna be hurt. And that's one thing we sweep things under the rug. A lot of people don't like to address things because they don't want to hurt somebody's feeling or don't want to have an argument or whatever the case may be. But sometimes you just have to. It is what it is. Get over it. We might disagree with what we're gonna say. We might cause an argument with friends, family, relationship. It don't matter. We're not talking about any particular thing because this is general. We're on universal. You have to address it and not being afraid to hurt how the other person really truly gonna feel, because it just need to be addressed. Because now you start to second guess how you gonna do this or do that. No, you need to just go and spill it out, and what may let the cards fall, as they say, where they lay. So
yeah, man. On that note, man, it's a lot that I can say on that, but I'm gonna move to this next point, man. Feeling like people get away with doing people wrong. I want to touch on that, man. And there are people in life that have gone through some tragic things in their life. They've gone through some horrible things. I can't even think of the right word to describe the things that a lot of people have gone through. And I'm hoping that, people who have gone through things can see this, see our episodes and be inspired and be encouraged to know that, hey, if you've gone through anything in life that you need to speak out on, you need to do that. I pray that you had a courage to do that, because anytime somebody violates you in a way that you don't need to be violated on any level, you have that right to speak out about it. You have that right to go to someone, especially young kids, especially younger people. So I just want somebody to be able to look at this and be encouraged, because a lot of times people will go through things and have harm done to them, and you'll look and you'll see all the people around you. You'll see whether it's family members, whether you see co-workers, or whether you see friends, and they'll you after a while you'll feel like, man, they seem like they can do this and get away with it. It seems like nothing is gonna happen to them, because a lot of times people will do things, and if it's no proof, they'll deny it. They'll say, oh, I didn't do that. It didn't go down like that. It was taken out of content. And a lot of times, what about that child, or what about that individual, adult, or whoever that have to walk around seeing everybody put their arms around them, seeing everybody pat them on the back, and you got to walk around feeling like, man, what about me? I was the victim, or I I was the one that I have to go through this, and then it's almost like you telling me get over it, or we don't believe you, or just And I want to tie you right in. How you feel about that?
At the end of the day, our religious background and stuff. So I'm gonna start there.
Go ahead.
Everything that happens in the dark comes to the light. You might not give an account for it at that time, but you got to give an account for it at some point on time. You might have got away with it, or we might feel like you got away with it on this earthly realm. But brother, you got to always give an answer to somebody who's seen the dirt and everything you done did to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think nothing goes unscathed. Whether we punish a person here, but I don't think anything that wrongdoing goes unscathed. Not, maybe in the afterlife, but that's no here or there. But still, that's where I have to come from a point. If it was me and I'm looking at somebody do me wrong and everybody giving this person love or whatever it may be, but I know, yes, will I like it? Heck, nah. But I know, you think you got away with it, but it's somebody greater than me that you're going to answer to. So not to really get all biblical and all that stuff, but that's just where I standpoint from my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you, man. I respect it, man. And that's the tough part about it. That a lot of people
ain't, I get
and
it.
I feel them too, because
I get it.
The human side of it, and I was raised in the church, the human side of it is like, that is the pressure that people who have gone through things and a person have wronged them or they done things and it seems like they can just just, it's like everything is forced to be swept under the rug, and it's pressure when you are taught to we had episodes about forgiving. It's pressure when you are taught that God is gonna get them, or they're gonna receive it. But that's the thing that it's a work in process, a work in progress for everybody, because it's hard to do that, bro. On some real talk.
And even while I'm saying that don't mean I'm gonna silence myself of the wrong that you done.
No, I feel
and that don't mean I'm not gonna approach you and speak up on the wrong you done just because I believe what I believe.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep on preaching it. I'm gonna keep talking about it. Oh man, I ain't messing with Buddy did such and such to me. Oh, you still talking about that? I sure am. I sure am. Even though it's supposed to be forgiven or whatever, I do. But at the same time, I'm gonna keep talking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to keep approaching, because if you're nasty, you're nasty. You're not going to get away with it to me. I know my truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So long as you know your truth, you can keep talking, even though it might not seem like something might happen on this earthly realm. That don't mean you got to be silenced about it. You know what I'm saying? So
right. And just before we go to the next point, man, I think that's so important to not just, let that person get away with things that they shouldn't get away with. And the reason why I say that is because what about the next person that they may hurt?
Exactly.
What
That's
about the
why
next person? You may be saving, right? A silent person may be helping unconsciously the bad person, I'll say it like that, that's doing what they're doing. But a person that can speak when it's time to speak, and we getting ready to get into that point in a minute, a person that speak when it's time to speak could be saving a life, could be saving somebody's feelings, could be saving somebody trauma. So it's so important to know when to speak and when not to speak. And that's the next point that I'm getting right into. I want to tie you right into it, man. It's a time to shut up and it's a time to speak. You was talking about, touching on biblical and everything, and just to look at reality when people believe how they want to believe. Just look at the reality. Yeah. If you look at crime, there are times when people get away with it for so long, and it come to light. So a lot of things that you were saying, whether people have their own type of religion that they believe in or whatever, you cannot get past the facts of life.
Yeah,
you gonna get caught eventually. You go and rob banks was done in the dark would come to the light. Yeah. So a lot of times, people on the social media, on the internet, when it come down to whether it's politics or religion talk, people get very, very, they cringe when you talk about that.
Yeah.
But that's when you hit them with the facts of life of like, okay, hey, whatever, no matter what you believe in, the facts of life is it will come to the light.
Yeah.
Anybody who believe in wherever they believe in could see that just as plain as day. I want to tie you right into that, man. It's a time to shut up and it's a time to speak. How do you feel about that, and how important is that to you?
To me, like, I think sometimes timing is everything. You don't want to bring something up. Say something happened to you 2 weeks ago, right? Mm-hmm. Why not approach it 2 weeks ago? Don't wait a whole year or whatever times. Somebody might not even remember what you're talking about. Don't wait till a whole week or 2 weeks, a month, or however long. Approach it then. But the timing is everything. Address it when it happens. That's the good point to do. Don't let time go by and then want to bring up something that happened months later. I believe in, on certain things. Sometimes you go through, certain things that take place, you have to heal. Maybe, when it's talking about innocence of kids, they might not know how to handle it till they talk to somebody and then speak on up about stuff. But certain things as an adult, man, you need to address it right then, because like I say, I'm thinking we cool. Now here it is 2 months later, you bringing up something that I maybe done to you prior. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why are you bringing up that now? We done moved past it. You know what I'm saying? Even though you had a right to. But I'm like, I might not take it as serious because you waited this long. And one thing about it, I probably would feel like we're getting into it about something else. Now you're bringing something I did prior to whatever we getting into it with right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm guilty of that too, by the way.
Yeah. I want to tie in real quick. The thing that bothers me, and it's a challenge also I feel amongst many people that can relate to this, is, trying to find the right time when to speak on the issue that you have, and I can't be the one to just say, okay, this is the time and this is the time, because everybody have their different times where they may feel comfortable of doing so. But my only opinion or my only advice is to don't let so much time go by until it get to a point where it's worse, or it just kind of, it's harder to solve the case or to solve different things or to fix it when it's way down the line and so much damage has been done over and over and over, whether it was you or whether it was somebody else.
Because the longer you wait, the more it seems to be okay for the other person. Right. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now you're bringing it up. It's like, man, you bringing that up now? And I'm going to ask you this real quick, and I'm going to simplify it. Just say you was in a relationship. You and your spouse or whatever got in an argument 2 weeks ago. Okay, 2 weeks has passed. Now, you're getting ready to go to work. Mm-hmm. And a person that this done happened 2 weeks just bring up something, and y'all been around each other all day that you had all the opportunities to bring it up. But soon as you finna walk out to go to work, they want to bring this up. That's bad timing to me. You know what I'm saying? How would you handle that? Because again, you say when to bring up something, when not to. I believe like, hey, if we sitting around, let's address some things. Don't wait till I have to go do something, take care of business, be around other people, because it's an emotional response you're gonna get. Now you probably we were just good. Now you done messed up kind of my whole day. Now I got to either go to work with some kind of attitude. Not that I'm gonna give it to anybody that's around me, but I have to go around people that they could see like what's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So I believe, how do you handle that, like time? Just speaking on that stuff.
Well, how I would handle it is communication, and what I mean by that is, it goes back to somebody got to be the bigger person to be like, okay, hey, I need to talk to you. When is a good time that we can talk? Is to establish a good time that we can talk, and then have an agreement on when that would be good for us to talk. And I think a lot of times that be the challenge, and that be the upsetting factor, because especially for the person that may feel like I wasn't the one that wronged you, or I didn't do anything to you, they're gonna feel like, you gotta have an agreement. You gotta have some kind of agreement of like, okay, this is, hey, let's I'm after work, or tomorrow, you know, I got to do this, but we can do this time.
Can we sit down and talk?
Yeah, it's about communicate. Because if you don't never communicate, it's gonna keep being swept under the rug, and you're not gonna know when to talk about it. Y'all haven't even discussed anything to know when a good time to sit down and talk. So I would communicate with that person and do it, and that's not easy. Let's throw that in there real quick. That's not easy because, again, when you, for an example, just going through all your life where you had to be the bigger person, that's a struggle that you have to pray about, or whatever you have to do to gain that strength. Because sometimes you don't have the strength that you thought you had. Yeah. Let's just let that sit for a minute. Sometimes you go through life where you be like, man, I'm just mad. I don't want to deal with it. And that's the thing that makes it so much the biggest swept under the rug type of situation and everything. So, yeah, I just believe in communication, because either I was watching Get Rich or Die Trying, and the dude told 50 Cent, he said, either do something or stop talking about it. Yeah. So it's like, if you're not gonna and the reason why I bring that up, because if you're not gonna sit down and address it, then why keep on coming around that person, and just like they can't even figure out why you having some kind of energy where you just acting funny or whatever. So if you're gonna be around that person and you're gonna complain about that person but still come in their face, you need to address it to that person, tell them how you feel, get it off your chest, so you'll feel better. At least you'll feel better, because they may not change they ways, but guess what?
You got it off
they heard you. They heard you.
Thing too, I don't know how much time we got, but one thing too, I would say this, bro. You keep sweeping things under the rug, eventually you got to clean up that dirt that's going under there.
Let that breathe.
So just think about it. You keep sweeping stuff under the rug, eventually you got to clean up your house. Yeah. So
that's true.
You know, that's real. I can just put it simply as that.
Yeah, man. And another point came to my mind before we wrap it up is people deal with things like people that have money or people that don't have money like that. Mm-hmm. They deal with things more than they would deal with it if they had money like that.
You're right. Like
that's crazy to me.
If you might be not the richest person, but if you got money, man, it's like, I'm not dealing with it.
A lot of things you won't deal with.
Accept a lot of things that you will accept when you don't. And it shouldn't be that way, because general, it doesn't matter. This money stuff don't matter. If it's wrong, don't deal with it. Right. Don't put up with it. I don't care where it's coming from.
I don't care if I have to. I don't care if I have to scrape doodle for a living. Yeah, I'm not going to be in a situation where you treat me any kind of way or you do me any kind of way, and because you got money and I'm comfortable sitting in the house with you, I'm going to just deal with anything. And that could be with anybody.
Anything. It's a celebrity going through something right now, allegedly. So we got to always say that. The lady Lizzo going through a lot of stuff because she had money, but she was treating her dancers any kind of way like they was just peons or whatever. And now they're coming back now and suing her. It's this big old thing, and cancellation, whatever that may mean. You know what I'm saying? That's going on because she had money. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever that case may be. And again, that's allegedly. We don't know the ins and outs. But I don't care. Wrong is wrong. I don't care how much money you got. Treat everybody deserves respect. So you
should have in your mind, and on this note, you should have in your mind, you can't be bought. I don't care if it's family members. I don't care if it's your spouse. I don't care if it's your boyfriend. I don't care if it's your girlfriend. I don't care if it's your friend. I don't care if a person did things for you financially all your life. Wrong is wrong. You got to have standards. You got to stand on what you believe in. You can't allow people to have that power over you that they feel like, oh, they know if I cut them off financially, you know, that's why they're going to do it. It's control. They're going to use money to control you.
And a person respect the person for standing up for themselves.
Whether they tell you or not.
Whether they tell you or not, man, for real.
Yeah, man, you know, and we can get into this all day, man. We want y'all to hit that like button, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, comment, share. You know, we have more on the way. We just want y'all to stay in tune for our podcast, because I'm telling you, it's just going to get more. We're just going to grow more and more. We're just going to get more intense. We're going to touch on things. You know, we just trying to enlighten people with our opinion and hope that we can be better. That's all we do, man. I'm Arthur J.
And I'm Torrie.
And like we always say, till next time. Peace.